Hello, it's been a while since I made a video, probably a couple of years actually. Although I have shot stuff, but I've never produced anything worth watching, or nothing that I thought was worth watching. Anyway, today I'm just going out for a quick ride, and I've got a demo bike, which is a HAIBIKE All-Mountain with the new Pinion motor in it. So I took it out yesterday as well, and I went up Blencathra on it yesterday, which was nice. It's a nice bike. It's a medium rather than a large. It's a little bit on the small side for me, but it's still okay. But I thought I'd let you know what I think of this Pinion motor and gearbox. A demo from eVentures in Keswick. Mike kindly let me borrow it for the day. Just to tell you what it's all about. Obviously my reference is my Levo, which is now what, nearly 5 years old, so it's quite an old e-bike. And obviously this is the latest and greatest with the Pinion motor and the belt drive. It's also a nice spec bike. I mean, it's nearly 8 grand, so it ought to. It's got Zeebs on the front, Magura brakes. Well, here's the first climb. We'll see how we get on with it. I'm in fly mode, which is the top mode. I suppose it's equivalent to the turbo mode on my Levo. It's got 4 modes. I assume very similar to the Bosch system, where you've got like an eco. I think they call it flow on this. But I'll tell you when I stop, I'll have a look. I suppose an eco, a trail, like an EMTB sort of mode, and then fly, which is the top mode. I'm just making light work of this track. Going up here. We're going up what a crack today. This track's quite badly washed out at the moment, so it's a little bit harder to ride than it has been in the past. That clanking noise is the crank catching the swing arm. I don't know if the crank's loose and it needs some adjustment. I mean, it's a nice machine, very clean. It's display on the top tube. It's got control here for the power level, so it's fly, flex, which I assume is like EMTB, flow, which is the medium mode, and eco, which obviously is a battery saving mode. On the left hand side here you've got 2 shifter buttons here. You can hear the Pinion motor changing. I think it's got 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, let's have a look here. It's 12 speeds, and apparently it's 600%. So it's a little bit more than the Eagle. I mean, on an e-bike it doesn't matter so much. And that's the belt system on the back here. So it's got a belt with a tensioner, and then the Pinion motor. But Magura brakes, Magura MT5. So it's got quite good brakes on it as well. And it's got the RockShox Zeeb on the front. I think it's 150mm. I'm not 100% sure on the specs, but I think it's 150mm travel bike. But I mean, it's more than adequate for the type of riding I do. Right, off we go again. Oh, he screws it up. That's not good. Take it down a gear or 2. I struggled a little bit on it yesterday with it being a bit small for me. Can't even get going here. Now the beauty of this bike is apparently you can get it into, you can change gear by the station, which I've just done there. I've put it into 2, so we'll see if I can get started again. As I say, with it being a medium rather than a large, it's quite a bit shorter. That's more like it. and I'm struggling a little bit with the balance on it, keeping the front wheel down while I'm get my weight over the back end. I mean, it felt great yesterday coming down on it, but not quite so good on the way up. I mean, it feels good going uphill. It's just, I'm struggling a bit with that. That balance between the front and the back wheel, which is so important when you're climbing on an e-bike. I mean, it certainly goes uphill well. I suppose the big question is the Pinion Gearbox worth the extra money? Because as I say, this bike's touching £8,000, and probably equivalent Trek or something like that's probably, what, 6? I don't know how much a car, maybe 6 or 7, so maybe it's not that much more. I'm a bit out of touch actually, to be honest with bike prices, but I mean, it's certainly a lovely bike and it's well spec'd. DT Swiss wheels. As I say, it does what it says on the tin. Whether it does it any better than my Levo, that's the question, I suppose. And I would say probably not. Obviously, e-bikes, I mean, my Levo's had, what, 4 rear free wheels put on it because the bearings have collapsed in them. It's not been too bad for changing drive chains, which I know e-bikes can be, but I think if you treat them properly and you know, stick in the low gear, don't hammer them too much, I think, you know, I mean, they don't last as long as normal on a normal bike, the components, but I mean, you are doing more on them and they've got an awful lot more power going through them. I must admit, I do like this gear change on it. It's very nice. As I say, that knocking noise you're hearing, this is the crank banging against the swinging arm, and I think that's something to do with the way the crank's loose on it, or there's some problem with it anyway. I did speak to Mike in the shop and he said, you know, it's something they need to sort out. So I don't think that's actually an endemic problem with the bike. Well, I hope it's not. I suspect it just needs a little tweak. I mean, I don't think they've had it long. But I mean, it is quite nice just to be able to hit that button and select whatever gear you want. On the display, it tells you what gear and it gives you an indication. So it gives you a 1 to 12 reading on the display to show you what gear you're currently in. I've got the wrong way there. I meant to shift up, I was shifted down. That's not really a bike problem though, that's a rich problem. As I say, it's certainly got plenty of power. I mean, obviously nothing like an AM flow, although I've never ridden one, but I understand that they're a beast. But I mean, it's certainly got the same sort of power as many of the other e-bikes, a Levo or a Trek or something. More than enough in my opinion, but I know some people want their e-bikes to be electric motorbikes. Oh, and he spins out. It's got good tyres on it as well. It's got, even though it didn't look it there, it's got Continentals on. I don't know exactly what model they are, but they seem pretty good to me and fairly grippy. This is up at the high point on Waller Crag. Didn't take us long to get up here at all. Let you have another look at the bike. As you can see, the seat's right up, it's at its highest level. It is a bit small for me, and I suspect that is affects the climbing potential for me, because it's, as I said, just getting that balance right. It's a 29 on the front and 27.5 on the back, so it's a mullet setup. Cryptol, a Cryptol on the front and a Cryptol on the front, Continental, and as I say, they seem to do their job pretty well. As I say, I've not really got any experience with Continental tyres, but as I say, I've got no complaints about those. And that's about it really. There's not a lot else to say about it other than it's a nice bike. We'll see what it's like going down here. As I say, I went down Blencathra on it yesterday and it performed really well. I mean, with it being the mullet and it being a little bit small for me, I found it actually really nice going downhill, especially on the tight switchbacks, because I didn't even need to try going around them, you know, on my Levo, on my Yeti. I've had to put a little bit of effort to clean them, but on this, because it's a shorter wheelbase, I didn't really have a problem. It hasn't got a mud guard on the front, which is quite annoying, so I'm getting sprayed with water. Not used to a bike without a mud guard on it. There we go. Suspension on it's lovely. RockShox suspension. I haven't used RockShox suspension. I've been on Fox for quite a few years now. I did used to have RockShox, I think it was Reavers or something on my old hardtail years ago. I mean, they were really good forks and lasted a long time. But I've certainly not got a problem with these. The suspension system on this bike is really nice. I mean, obviously it's brand new suspension, so it's going to be nice, isn't it? I think on the old Pinion system, it used to be like a belt drive system. And not belt drive, sorry. This is a belt drive system. It used to have a twist grip on them for the original Pinion, you know, when it was on the Deviant Guide. It was a twist grip, and a lot of people whinged about it. I mean, obviously I never tried it, but they've gone for this 2-button, I suppose it's fly-by-wire. I'd imagine it's electronic, I don't actually know. It's certainly not cable operated, so it's like an electronic system. As I say, it seems does the job. It does the job. The only thing I would say is it something else to go wrong on it? And also, if your battery runs out, will you be unable to change again? I know you'll have a heavy bike to pedal, but having a heavy bike to pedal is one thing. Having a heavy bike to pedal with no gears is another. I would imagine that HAIBIKE have set it up so that the shifting will work even when you haven't got any assist left. I mean, the big batteries on this, so, and the battery power necessary to change gear, I would imagine, is pretty small, so I wouldn't have thought that would be an issue, but you never know. As I say, I've not got the time to find that out. Nice not having a derailleur on the back. I don't need to worry about whacking it off any of these rocks. I've done some work up here on Waller Crag and I've improved this bit actually. Because it was a bit janky, that little section going through there. And they took out there was a plastic pipe across the trail here, which was very easy to spin, especially not so much on an e-bike, when a normal bike could easily spin out on it. So they have improved things a bit. And then, like some of the other projects that Fix the Fells have worked on, they have done it. I think they have. I think they've done a good job up here, and they haven't turned it into a footway in the middle of a town centre like they do with some of them. Although I do think they do get some criticism. Look at that. Unnecessarily, but sometimes I think they deserve it. We've got the gear, pin it down here, or maybe I'll not be pinning it, but I'll ride in my usual controlled way and try not to fall off. yeah, it feels really nice going downhill. I mean, I really do think it. And the other thing is as well is, which, you know, there's no noise, which is quite. And to be honest with you, until I rode it yesterday, I didn't notice the noise the chain makes slapping about when you're going downhill. But as soon as I got on this, I thought, oh, that's quiet. There's no noise at all. And it is quite nice, actually. How much having no noise when you're going downhill's worth, how much extra you pay for it, I don't know. But it is nice not having that chain noise as you're going downhill. And it goes down here lovely. I mean, it really is a nice bike to ride. So putting the Pinion Gearbox and the belt drive to one side, it is a really nice bike, and it goes really, really well. I mean, it's just eating this up. I mean, not that it's massively difficult track, but it's coping with it very well. I certainly wouldn't be disappointed if this was my bike. I don't know if I'm tempted to get one, but I do like the idea of the low maintenance wash. No chain to lube or maintain. I mean, it certainly ticks all the boxes as far as an e-bike's concerned. But yeah, HAIBIKE ALLMTN. I've not been a big fan of HAIBIKE in the past. Years ago, when the e-bikes first became a thing, they used to use Yamaha motors, and they weren't very good, and they weren't reliable, and the warranty on them wasn't very good either. Which I suppose it wasn't really HAIBIKE's fault. It was probably more down to Yamaha, and it always put me off them a little bit, actually, to be honest with you. Maybe unfairly to them, but it's the same importer as last year into the UK, so you know, I think it'll be fine. I mean, I'd imagine Pinion have been going for a while now, so I'm sure they'll stand behind their product. So if there are any issues with the motor or the gearbox, I think they'll be on it to sort anything out that happens with it, because if you don't, you're going to lose your reputation quite quickly, I would have thought, in this industry. I mean, Bosch, you know, have gone out of their way to look after their customers, especially in the early days. One of the issues with this demo bike, other than the fact it's got a clicking crank, is it's in test mode, they call it. And it's like I suppose it's a feature, it's like a bit of a sort of an anti-theft feature, is that to get the full charge in it, and to change the language on the screen, you have to register the bike. And because it's in test mode, they call it, you can only charge it up to 85%. So it's quite hard to see what sort of range you get out of the battery. I don't actually know what size battery's in this thing. I should really have known that. It's a bit silly making a video about a product and not really knowing the basics, like what size battery it's got. But I mean, I can always ask at the shop, or you can have a look online. I mean, it's the top of the range one now. I think there's two models. There's like a lower version, and this is the top of the range model. As I say, it's got good suspension on it, good brakes. Really nice bike to ride, actually. But whether that's because it's brand new and it's got new suspension on it, I don't know. This is a footwear 10 if we're going to do this section of the bash today as well. think it might be worth a picture of the bike. Right, let's see how it got on up here. I think I'm in gear 4. That's it, drop down to gear 3. Seems about right for up here. The tyres make a big difference on this track because these rocks are really slippy. Especially on the e-bike, it's really easy to spin out. Although it's not wet this morning, it's very cold. It's cold and there's probably a damp layer on them all. As I said, I'm struggling a bit with the balance on this bike. Oh, just caught my foot there. Good though. I'm not quite sure how you get into walk mode. Normally it's like a push and hold job. Mike did show me in the shop, but I'm obviously too stupid to work out how to do it. I'm gonna have to pedal it then, aren't I? I was thinking I could have a nice little wander up here with it. It does have a walk mode on it, so I could work out how to work it. Let's get back on this thing and try and pedal it. Oh, that's it. Oops, so lazy. Maybe not such a good idea. I could have given that some more beans there. I think that would have been okay actually. Not far from the top though. My guiding business has gone really well this year. Had the best year yet actually, really good. And if any of you fancy a guided ride, you just need to go over to my website, mtvguides.uk, and I'll be happy to oblige. Yeah, it's the best season I've had guiding. That's the most technical bit on the bash, that little section there. Just picking the right line for it, to be honest with you. It's not hard. It's just, if you get the line wrong, you'll run into trouble. I'm just being a little bit careful down here because I don't think this is tubeless, this bike. I think it's got tubes in it, so I've got to be home by 9 o'clock this morning. Otherwise I'll get into trouble, so I don't really want a flat. Yes, I'm enjoying this rock shock suspension. I mean, it could just be that, didn't do that very well. It could just be that my suspension on my bike is very old and probably needs servicing, so it feels really good. I handle that beautifully. If I had, though, it would have been rider error. Rather than the bike. As I say, I was being a little bit careful, probably too careful. And that's where I probably caught it. It's always the same. It's like not looking at something you don't want to hit. So you end up looking at the thing you want to miss, and you end up hitting it then, don't you? Although I did set up the suspension, I put a bit of air in the suspension because it was a little bit soft for me before I got the demo bike. I didn't bother checking the tyre pressure. I should have really, but like I say, it's been fine. Absolutely gorgeous this morning though. And that is us done for today. We're not going to do the rest of the bash. This is Waller Crag, and we're 10 lift down to Rosswaite, which are 2 of the sort of main descents, and then the next is it's rounding up Honister and down the back of Castle Crag. I haven't got time to do that this morning though, so I'll have to leave it there, and I'm going to fly back along the road back home and get this bike cleaned up and taken back to the shop, because I told Mike I would get it back this morning for him. So the bike came from E-Ventures in Keswick. It's not just electric, it's called E-Ventures, but it doesn't just sell electric bikes. He sells analog bikes as well as electrics, and does bike hire. For my guiding customers, it's what I always recommend them to use him, like, because he has Trek rails as his full suspension hire bikes, which are really good, and he has I think they're Ghost hardtails, which actually aren't bad. The hardtails he hires out. The only thing is they don't have a dropper on them, but other than that, they're really capable bikes. I took some lads around the bash on them a month or 2 ago, and they coped okay on them. I mean, you know, obviously it was a bit of a faff having to drop your seat on the descents, but other than that, they were absolutely fine actually. You know, really capable bikes with decent tyres on them and decent forks on them. But mind you, I would always recommend something like a Trek rail for a ride like this. Well, just having a drop a seat post just makes such a big difference. This is just cruising along at 25k. As I say, I'm not sure, I can't really tell you much about the battery life on it, because A, it can't be fully charged because it's in test mode, so you can only put 85% of the charge in. But it probably seems on par with my Levo, I thought, which is the 700 watt hour battery. I would say it was certainly on par with that. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video and learned a little bit about this all-mountain HAIBIKE. As I say, I've not really looked at the specs of it, so as I said, I don't even know what size battery's in it. It's a really nice bike. It handles really well. Whether the Pinion Gearbox and belt drive is a massive step up from I mean, the derailleur system works. That's why it's been so popular for so many years. It works, and it's easy to replace when it breaks. It is vulnerable. I would hate to think how much a Pinion gearbox costs. I'm sure it's much more than a derailleur or a cassette, or so I don't know. I suppose it depends. I mean, I'm not really up on the prices of like sort of top end e-bikes these days, but I mean, as I say, this is £7,900, so it's up there, isn't it, really, with it's a carbon bike, but it's, I mean, I don't know what the other manufacturers are. I mean, it's probably on par with Specialized, and to be honest with you, although I really like the Levo and I love the handling of it, I would like to ride this in a large, and I think it would be, definitely equivalent handling wise. And if you've got a Pinion motor thrown in for the same sort of money, I see the advantages of the Pinion motor and the quiet drivetrain and the lack of maintenance on the back. They're not massive things, but they are issues, and they are things that maybe you should take into account when you're getting your next e-bike. But it just depends on the price. I mean, as I say, I don't think that the belt drive and the Pinion motor would be worth spending like thousands of pounds more than the equivalent bike on it. That would be my opinion, I mean, if there was a choice between this and I could get like a carbon Specialized Levo for £2,000 less, I would definitely go for the Levo. A couple of £100, I might go for this. But for if it was a big difference in price, I don't think that it's that much better. But that's just my opinion anyway. Thanks for watching the video, and hopefully I won't leave it another 2 years before I make another one. Cheers, bye.